Standing by.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Complete.
The multi-dimensional portal is open. Tajigen, it's your favorite superstar, the multi-dimensional Tajigen Titan, a sentient star cluster in virtual idol form. I hope you didn't hear anything during the music there, during the starting soon screen there. I had the microphone unmuted, I just realized as I was about to end the countdown there. But it's good to see you missed. Hopefully you didn't hear anything. I don't know if I like exhaled or I'm drinking my tea, so maybe you heard some swallowing ASMR. I don't know. Anyway, hopefully it's all good. Good to see you all. Happy Thursday/Friday. Today is a fine day for some Pokemon training. And you know what I've been doing for most of the day today? I've been Yu-Gi-Oh! Master Dueling, and let me tell you something. I got all my luck on the stream yesterday because I also dueled a little bit after the stream, and many of those duels didn't go well either. Many of the duels today didn't go well either. I don't think I'm gonna make it to the next stage. I'm in level 16, but it's the second time I'm in level 16 because you can actually get demoted to previous levels if you lose enough times. It's kind of like the regular ranks, probably. They just don't show you how many wins until the next level. You only know, or until you get demoted, you only know if you're one away from leveling up or leveling down. Because it tells you before the duel begins, if you lose, you get leveled down. If you win, you get leveled up, basically. But if you win while under the danger of leveling down, then on the next duel you're not gonna see that message. And it's the other way around too. If you see the message that you're gonna level up, I think if you lose, then you won't see it on the next duel. So you have to win 2 more, and you know, it keeps being a ranking situation like that. And yeah, I'm starting to see the meta decks for either like Master Duel in general or just the Duelist Cup itself. For those who don't know, I'm talking about the stream yesterday on Twitch. We were doing the Duelist Cup. It's been a lot of fun though. I'm gonna try my best with the time I have today after the stream, if there's any time. I'm gonna try not to take forever with this. These streams have been much longer than I anticipated. Anyway. With the time I have, I'm gonna try to get as far as possible. If I don't get to the next stage on the Duelist Cup, because again, today's the last day to do that, and it's before 11 p.m. my time, so there's even more of a limit there. It's not like it's the entire day, literally. But yeah. Or well, you know, on one of my time zones at least. The time zone that it shows there on Master Duel. But yeah. So there's like, how many hours are left for this? 6 hours left on the event. Well, round it up. But yeah. What was I gonna say? Even if I don't get to the next stage though, I'm still like getting a lot of like experience for the season pass. There's like still a lot of days left for that, but hey, the sooner you get to it, the better. And I'm already like grade 60 something on the pass. 75, grade 75 is the one you want to get to the most because it has like the last reward that is not materials or gems, which are valuable too, but if we have to get to, if we can get to grade 100, let's at least get to grade 75. And that's my aim right now, to get to that grade. Grade is what they call the ranks, the levels basically, and that's what I'm gonna do. Advancement is really good. It's good enough just playing a lot like this. And well, when the Duelist Cup is over, I'll just go back to playing at my own pace. No, I tell you this though, some of the duels I've lost there against those meta decks that they've done, you keep seeing the same decks over and over. It reminded me the things I dislike about Master Duel. So that whole thing I was saying about, oh, you know, I want this to be one of my 3 seasonal games with Fortnite and Fall Guys. I'm not so sure about that. So if there's any game to take time away from, Master Duel is a good one. Although at the same time it's nice because it's not very demanding on the PC, so it's always nice to have it as an option. You know, that being said, I still haven't checked out Terraria. I should check it out soon. Do you think maybe I should check it out next week? What do you think, Maniacs? Would you like to see me play Terraria? Maybe I could even check it out here on YouTube instead on Twitch. Instead of Twitch, pardon me. That could be fun. But alright. Now let's get back to Pokemon. Let's get back to the Pokemon League building, shall we? And let me put some different music for this. I'm going to put some Sinnoh Lo-Fi. There's like a Lo-Fi playlist for every Pokemon region. Probably up until Alola or Galar. Or maybe not. The person that uploaded this, the channel that uploaded these, most of these are from like 2 or 3 years ago. But yeah, even 3 years ago, Sword and Shield came out. There might be a Galar Lo-Fi mix. Paldea Lo-Fi mix, that's the one I would expect not to see. Let's see what volume is good. Starting with Twin Leaf Town, so this begins now. What begins today is the Pokemon regions that I'm not as familiar with, because I didn't get to experience the games in which these take place. Not yet, at least. For one reason or the other. I never got a DS. I still to this day have never owned a DS, nor a 3DS, which I want to change one day, because I definitely want to play those games there on the DS. But yeah, without any further ado, let's jump into it and go to the trainer card maker here in Pokecharms again. So again, that's how we're building the teams. And one more thing. The Hisui... No, not Hisui, sorry. I'm looking at this and thinking Hisui. Well, we may see a little bit of Hisuian stuff today, by the way, because Hisui is what eventually became Sinnoh. We'll see, though. We'll see. But yeah. Paldea. The Paldea Pokédex. We may see some more spoilers for that, if that is still a spoiler for you. I just realized this background is a Scarlet and Violet background, actually. But yeah, also because Pokecharms has removed their spoiler, let's call it tag. Their spoiler, like, cover for the Gen 9 Pokemon. And Gen 9 variations of previous Pokemon. Paldean and like Paradox variations, so we may be seeing a lot of that here, even if I don't search for it. Like when I begin searching for a Pokemon and something like that may show up, and I'm gonna follow the same policy. Like I even removed from the description the part that says this may include spoilers for the Paldean Pokédex, for the new Pokemon introduced in Scarlet and Violet, or the new regional variants and such. But yeah, without any further ado, let's begin. We are going to begin immediately. Oh, but a reminder of what this is. What this is a building of an ultimate Pokemon League, quote-unquote ultimate. What do I mean by that? Well, it's an experience that gives 6 Pokemon to every notable trainer, which are gym leaders, Elite Four members, which are no longer Elite Four members here probably, as I'll explain in a moment. The champions, I say it in plural because sometimes there's multiple champions, especially if you count the player characters. But if you don't, then there's only that one champion, the mighty Cynthia, in this region. In the previous region, you had both Wallace and Steven. But yeah, and also, yes, the player characters and rivals, and other like characters that are similar to that. Sometimes I kind of bring in a character from adventures, or I sort of even make an original character to cover a certain gap, as we're going to see when we get to the Hisuian variants, because we're gonna have the Hisuian starters represented here as well. But now, yes, let's, well, we may have something like that, we'll see. But explaining now, let's explain also what they're meant to be. So there's 6 teams, which are all meant to be like the teams. So this is meant to be kind of like a mode that you would play if you were playing Pokemon Stadium, or playing in something like the battle facilities, like the World Tournament in Black 2 and White 2, which included like every gym leader from every region up until that point. If we ever have Unova remakes, I hope they remake like both of Black and Black 2 and White 2 at the same time. Like they blend aspects of all those games into one game, and that includes the World Tournament. So we may also have like representatives from Kalos, the champions, the gym leaders, and hopefully they bring the Elite Four members in their own tournament as well. Call it the Elite Tournament, right? But yeah, from Kalos, from Alola, and from Galar, and from Paldea for that matter. And for Alola, it wouldn't be gym leaders, but you could do one with the trial captains and maybe the... the Kahunas and the trial captains both, yeah. Instead of the gym leader tournament. Still an Elite Four tournament is there though. An Elite tournament with Elite Four members from every region. Just like the Champions tournament, which is all the champions from every region. So... Yeah, all the Elite Four members, because just to have like one tournament for one region's Elite Four members doesn't quite work. Like, they're not enough. Although you only end up facing 3 opponents, but nah. They also show like a bracket. They show brackets on it, and if you only had like 4 and you the player 5, that doesn't really work for the brackets. Anyway, I am digressing. The point is, it's a tournament like that, if you know what that experience is like Mount Battle in Pokemon Colosseum and XD. I really need to get back to playing Pokemon Colosseum. I think I'm gonna get back to it soon. I also want to play Pokemon Stadium, because I recently finished this game called Crystal Clear, a fan version of Pokemon Crystal, that is able to link to Pokemon Stadium 2. Not sure if it's able to link to Stadium 1 though. If it does, I'm gonna have to change one Pokemon in my party, because it's a Gen 2 Pokemon. Funny enough, my party ended up being 5 Gen 1 Pokemon and 1 Gen 2 Pokemon, but I may also have to change their moves. So if I had to do that, then nah, I'd rather just go for Stadium 2. And for Stadium 1, I just make a brand new party, or I do rentals. Because I could just do it with the rentals in Pokemon Stadium, but I'd rather use one of the parties I used in the handheld games. It's a lot more fun. I don't think I've ever had the chance to do that. Or if I did, it was a long time ago and I don't remember much of it. I kind of have a faint memory of maybe doing it. But anyway. So what that experience is like is that you face them under competitive rules in which you don't shift in battle. You know, you don't get the opportunity to shift, even if it's single player, if you're facing the AI. It doesn't give you the option to switch your Pokemon before the other person's Pokemon comes in. It's the set battle style, as it gets called. And all the Pokemon are scaled down to level 50 or scaled up to level 100. They're all the same levels, so it's not about level differences. Those things do not come into play. So it's like that. But the difference would be that you would be able to face all 6 Pokemon, because those 2 things I mentioned, Stadium and the World Tournament in Black 2 and White 2, they always have a limitation in that you don't get to face all 6 of their Pokemon unless you're going for triple battles or rotation battles in the World Tournament. If you go for single battles, you only face 3 out of their pool of Pokemon, of 6 Pokemon. Depending on the mode, the Pokemon may differ, but it's still a pool of 6 that they choose from. Or if you go for double battles, it's 4 out of the 6. And it would be fun to be able to face all 6 of them. My eventual intent with this is that I create all these teams in Pokemon Showdown. But I'm only going to start doing that, and I may end up doing it off the stream. We'll see how it goes. I may do a stream for that. We'll see. But the thing is, it's also going to take a long time to just do like one region's build. So I don't know about that. But yeah, because in Pokemon Showdown, it's even more time because I have to see the movesets, blah, blah, blah. Probably not going to stream that. Unless you want me to stream it. Unless there's enough interest for that. But yeah. But I'm gonna do it after I have finished all the 9 regions. So that's still gonna be several weeks for now. It works out to do it this way because right now is not a good time to be creating like new teams on Showdown. Because they're still settling the meta. Because new games just came out. A new generation just came out. Not just new games, but a new gen. With Scarlet and Violet. And yes, it's been a few weeks already. I think it's already been like a month. But even so, that's not enough time to settle things down for like their game modes and such. Especially for Pokemon on their decks. Let me take a look at this actually. I'm curious. For example, I go for the Scarlet and Violet decks in Smogon University, their website. Let's search for Quaquaval. Okay, this is what I wanted to find out, whether they already had builds ready, and they do. So yes, it's settling down. It's settling down. They're starting to get builds ready for them, like this. So usually you see these things in which they give you a build that you can just export to put right there in Pokemon Showdown. The choice band, but it says item is Mystic Water. Why is it called choice band? Anyway, I'm getting distracted here with this. But before this, it just didn't have any builds yet. And this form has almost any ability, so not for OU or even monotype or whatever. Well, it says the tier here is OU, but yeah. Let me see, Clodsire. Let's take a look at Clodsire. Very popular Pokemon because it can be very powerful, especially if you have Water Absorb. Nice. So this one has even more because they give details about the strategy. So unlike the Quackle Vault that we just saw, there's even more information. Again, some of those are still settling down. Goldengo is one that's top of the meta too. If I'm not mistaken, Goldengo is number 1000 on the national decks. So congratulations to the Golden Boy. And hey, I love to have a Goldengo in my party. It's a ghost type, so I'm very happy to have that. I always like to have a ghost type because, you know, it's my favorite type. Okay, so here they also have one for national decks, but they still... These are samples as well. We work on new analysis. Stay tuned. But yeah, welcome to the next generation of Battle Stadium singles. In this new and exciting metagame, new ideas are constantly developing, etc, etc. I don't know what Battle Stadium is. I've never done that mode. I'm not exactly an expert in these sorts of things, by the way, but it's still fun for me. But yeah, that's the eventual idea with this. And the other things that happen with this ultimate version of the league, eventually I would love to also be doing this in a fan game of sorts, creating it, but well, that may involve a lot of programming skills that I don't possess. We'll see. We would see. Ooh, eventually. That's another story. But yes, this would change the league so that instead of only 8 gyms, every single region, without exception, has 18 gyms, one for each type. And a bunch of other things that I've said in previous streams that I'm not going to go into heavy detail on this time. But yeah, basically there's 18 gyms. You still only need 8 to qualify for a particular tournament in the Pokemon League because we're probably eliminating the Elite Four. There's still a champion. You still gotta challenge the champion, and we probably have the same situation as Scarlet and Violet right here, in which you get champion rank by beating the defending champion. After qualifying by either winning a tournament or winning all 18 batches or some other things like maybe completing the decks. If we ever make this into a full game, quote unquote, it would be like that. And it would be a modification of like every region's games, maybe grabbing Fire Red or something and modifying it so that it has these kinds of things. But yeah, 18 gyms, one for each type, so that's a lot of new characters for the gyms. But there are some places, some instances in which we can use already existing characters. For example, Scarlet and Violet has type experts for nearly every other type that's not represented by Elite Four members and gym leaders, with the Team Star bosses. I think the only type that's not represented by a type expert is Rock. There's no Rock type expert in Scarlet and Violet, which is weird. Because it's kind of this is the kind of the second time this has happened to the Rock type. Oh, I just realized we still have the duel thing from yesterday. I'm sorry. I forgot to remove that. Yeah, that was the final record of yesterday. 11 wins and 3 losses on Master Duel on the Duelist Cup. The record after that, I haven't kept track of it, but there's been many more losses than that. Yeah. But I just realized that surrendering is actually not a good idea. I'm not sure if I realized this yesterday, but surrendering is not a good idea because it takes it away from you. It takes like a... It kind of like takes a win away from you in terms of leveling up. It's better to see it through until the very end. Like a true duelist, you might say. But yeah, and that's basically the changes. The Elite Four members now become gym leaders. I like to think of this as not a demotion of the Elite Four members, but rather a promotion of the gym leaders, implying that every gym leader is at the level of the Elite Four, which doesn't exist anymore. but I've been sort of changing my mind about this because there may still be a place for the Elite Four. The only problem is that since there's already a type specialist, a type expert representing them in the gym, the Elite Four are all gonna have a multi-type Pokemon party potentially, which kinda takes away the special thing about the champion and other notable characters like the Pokédex holders, which are most of the time player characters and rivals and such, as we're going to see here. But that's mostly like for the dream game that I'm talking about, the dream fan game that I would create. So with all that being said, with that background being set, let's set the background for this trainer card. that's meant to be a sort of pun, by the way. Hopefully it was a good one. If not, that's okay. I can end the stream. I can see myself out. I'm sorry. We set the background. Now we set the other background. Oh my gosh. I apologize. I'm so sorry. I am so sorry, everyone. Anyway, this is the universal background for everything. You know, they don't have a background for like every type, otherwise that could be good. But even so, like there's some trainers that don't have a type specialty. Like I mentioned, the champion, player characters, rivals, etc. So instead, this is what we're gonna have, a league background. And I realize this is the Kanto League, but it still works in general, because it's like the ultimate league, right? So we start with the gym leaders in order. Rourke, the rock type gym leader, is first. I was mentioning about this being the second time the rock type gets neglected. The first time is with Unova, basically. So if all goes well, next week we'll have a Unova league building, also on Thursday probably. And yeah, we're gonna have a special stream, by the way, on the 24th. So it's not gonna be a Japanese learning stream, and I think this stream is gonna be on Twitch, by the way. I'm already settling the details with Lurin to have a nice Final Fantasy Starlight Celebration collab on the 24th. But it will be around the time I usually do those Japanese learning streams, which is 12 p.m. Eastern. At least that's the current time we have. That may change in the future. But where's Rourke? I want to have Rourke. There you are. Only the one sprite for Rourke. No sickness suit for him. But yeah, next week is gonna be a bit different, but I think we can still have the Pokemon League building on the, what would it be, the 22nd? Yeah, the 22nd, Thursday 22nd, I'm pretty sure, next week. And if we do, you're gonna get to see what I'm talking about here. So with Black 2 and White 2, they introduced like a couple new gym leaders, one of them being Roxy. So they represented 14 types in the first game, because the first gym has 3 gym leaders, which one you face is based on your starter, right? So 10 different types with all the 8 gyms, and the Elite Four members, that's 14. Then with Roxy representing the poison type, that's 15. And then the steel type expert is Colress, the other sort of plasma team leader, sort of. And that brings it to 16 out of the 17 at the time types, because the fairy type had not been introduced yet. Well, that's gonna be a tricky one when we get to it next week. We're gonna just have a lot of non-Unova Pokemon, I would say. What was I gonna say though? So they have every type represented except the rock type. I really think they should have had a rock type gym leader instead of Marlon as the water type gym, the 8th gym. It would have been nice because we've already had an 8th water type gym in the Hoenn games. Would have been nice to have something different, like the 8th gym is the rock type gym this time. Never happened before. We've had the rock gym be the first gym twice. And on the... Yeah, that would have been good. That would have been good, basically. But alright. Or no, wait. Thrice! 3 times! This is the 3rd time. Kanto, Hoenn, Sinnoh. The first gym is the rock type gym on the regular games. One more thing about the 18 gyms here. This would be ideally an open world Pokemon game. Not counting like the World Tournament, Stadium, Mount Battle situation. Even then, it would also be random potentially. So you would be able to face the gyms in any order you want. And they scale based on your badges. But again, let's continue on from here. So finally, let's start building the team. His signature Pokemon, Rampardos. When you face him the first time, it's a Cranidos still, right? But Rampardos, it's a great Pokemon. I like Rampardos. Pure rock types can be great. Speaking of which, we have Sudowoodo. Doo-doo-doo. Was that the cry of Sudowoodo? Hoo-hoo-hoo. I think it was. And he's gonna have Hisuian Arcanine. Yes, you heard that right. So let's do that. Hisuian Arcanine. Again, representing that past of Sinnoh, right? He also gets Rhyperior for sure. Yeah, Rhyperior introduced in Gen 4, so it fits nicely. Then we have Golem. And we have Relicanth. So Rampardos is the only new... Well, Rhyperior and Rampardos, the only new Gen 4 Pokemon. But then you also have Hisuian Arcanine. Usually we try to stick to the Pokemon that were introduced in the generation that introduced this region. But sometimes it's not always possible, so we'll go for other Pokemon that are in the decks. Alright, let me save the image. Let me create a new folder for the Sinnoh trainer cards. And that's gonna be Rourke. Yeah, it would have been so much better instead of Marlon, the Water-type gym leader, which was already represented with Cress in Black and White. In Black 2 and White 2, you have the final gym, the 8th gym, be a Rock-type gym. Because they made the Dragon gym now be the 7th gym. Like, it was an oversight from them, I'd say. But alright. That is Rourke right there. Let me just check the folder. Making sure that things are being saved just fine. Just in case. Knock knock. Who is there? Justin. Justin who? Just in case. I'm checking the folder right now. It's not showing on the screen, but I'm doing those checks. Also, when I save the picture, it's not going to show it on the screen. Which is fine. It's actually better that way. Next is the Grass-type gym leader under Gardenia. So we changed the name, and now we change it to be Gardenia here. That's only the one avatar for her. Let's remove all the Pokemon here. Which they had an option to remove all of them at the same time. I can't be the only one that just creates like a bunch of different trainer cards. Over and over. Like, I might be the only one that does it for this reason, but there's gotta be others that create it for other reasons. Hold on, let me check something. Yeah, there are no longer like it's no longer hiding the new Pokemon. I thought for a moment it was still hiding them. But yeah, Roserade, Leafeon. Yes, both of them so far introduced. Roserade is her signature. Carnivine, also introduced in Gen 4. I keep thinking of Carnivine as a Gen 3 Pokemon, but you know why? I keep mistaking it with Cacnea and Cacturne. Feels like the fourth evolution of the third stage evolution of Cacnea and Cacturne. Then we also have Cherim. Okay. Yeah, which Cherim should we get? Well, we're gonna have this one because it's the official artwork. There's no official artwork for like the blooming Cherim or however it's called. Wormadam is gonna be Plant Cloak Wormadam. Which one is this? I thought there were more forms. Okay, so I'm pretty sure it's this one then. The Plant Cloak Wormadam. And Torterra, one of the starters. Another thing that would happen in the Dream game, the Dream fan game, would be Grass, Gardenia, just saving the picture here. I like her expression. Kinda like very wholesome, but also kind of smug. I don't know. Maybe it's just me. She looks like such a VTuber though. I could totally see a VTuber like this. But there's a lot of like Pokemon characters that look that way. The most recent one being Iono, who's literally a live streamer, so it fits her perfectly fine, right? Then we have Maylene, fighting type gym leader. Not a single one of the Pokemon she's gonna get is a pure fighting type. That's an interesting thing to point out. Just wanted to point that out. So yeah. Her signature Pokemon, Lucario, which I think should be Mega Lucario. Let's give her a Mega Lucario, which she doesn't get in Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl. I thought that was really stupid that they didn't at least return Mega Evolution for that. You know, it's fun when they do things like Dynamax, Terra, C moves maybe, but then you know they're not gonna come back because of the way they've been doing things lately. So it feels really like, I don't care about these gimmicks. You're just gonna remove them on the next game. So why should I care? Mega Evolution lasted longer than that, but sadly, they just... Sword and Shield came and... Yeah, they just didn't do it. Gallade. I currently have a Gallade on my Pokemon Emerald Enhanced Party, which I'm playing right now. And I'm nearly finished with, like, the Pokemon League portion of it. Like, getting the badges, Elite Four and Champion. I have all the badges now. And... it's only a matter of the Elite Four and Champion, which are going to be very difficult. The difficulty is increased in this game. In this version of the game. But it was also open world in the gyms, which also scaled with you. So I didn't do them in the original order. My first gym was the 4-3 gym under Winona, which was changed to be a grass-type gym, by the way. I don't know why, but okay. Well, I can sort of see why, given the location, 4-3 City, which is very forestry, very grassy, I guess. I don't know. But okay, Crasher Wake is next. Water-type gym leader. A pro wrestler of sorts. Which already makes me like him. Because I like pro wrestling. So I haven't been as much in the loop with it. And I don't think I will be for a long time, if ever again. As much as I like it, at the same time I have to keep my distance from it. Because there's just too much content and sometimes some things happen in it that just like, oh man, I don't like this decision. I don't like this approach, blah, blah, blah. I'm better off investing my time in one of my other interests. So Gastrodon. I actually gave him both Gastrodons. So that's how we're gonna do it. Just for the sake of having the variety, you know? Both Gastrodons here. Tell you what, let's have this with the official artwork. Oh, and if they were shiny... Yeah, the two variants also get a different shiny. For those who do shiny hunting, do you do shiny hunting for both versions of Gastrodon there? There's two different shinies for Gastrodon. So, I imagine it's gotta be, it's gotta be even more of a grind. I don't know, I've never done shiny hunting. So don't ask me. This may be subject to change though. But I think this is fine enough. The only limitation is if I do this in Pokemon Showdown, I either change it so that he doesn't have two Gastrodons, which is fine, we can do that. Or I do it outside, I do it in the Anything Goes modes. Which are kind of limited right now because of the new changes they're doing. So let me see, the final Pokemon... Yeah, let's make it Bibarel. It was either Gyarados or Bibarel, but Bibarel is normal water. The reason why I didn't give him that is because this is also on the normal type gym leader. Again, remember, we now have gyms for every single type in every region. But alright, that's going to be Crasher Wake. What is his name in Japanese? I'm curious. Let me open the Bulbapedia. The Sinnoh leak here. Maximum Masku. Maximum Kamen. Actually, it's actually Kamen. I recognize the kanji for mask, for Kamen. Mask or masked. The reason why I recognize it is because it's right there in Kamen Rider. Like, I immediately recognize that combination of characters. Maximum Kamen. You see, I like him even more because of this. So that's halfway through the gyms now. We are definitely going faster this time. Which is better, it's better. Like, it's not like I want the stream to be 10 minutes long either, but... they've been much longer than they should have been, I would say. Building these teams on the stream. I hope it's still fun though, I hope it's okay if I rush through them, sort of. It's not like I'm rushing through them, it's just that I'm talking about other things while I'm building it up, while I'm putting the Pokemon in here. But... at the end of the stream, we are gonna look at all the trainer cards again and just... mention all the Pokemon out loud, like do a big summary of them. So her signature Pokemon is Miss Magius, which I also have in my party in Emerald Enhanced. As a matter of fact, Mischievous was my starter Pokemon. Miss Magius here, because they have a lot of starter options, and none of them are the original 3 starters from Hoenn either. But you can catch them very quickly. They added a new area south of Little Root Town that has the 3 starters from Gen 1, 2, and 3, respectively. Because they also had Pokemon beyond Gen 3, which is why Miss Magius is there. But they also changed Mischievous and Miss Magius to become Ghost Fairy type in that game. Some Pokemon got changed with their types. Another one I remember is Blastoise being changed to Water Steel, which is kind of fun. But yeah. And my Miss Magius is called Warlock. My Gallade is called Sentinel. The other 4 Pokemon I have in the party are Electivire, nicknamed Electrer, which doesn't sound like a very original name, but it's actually based on the belt name for Kamen Rider Stronger, who is powered by electricity. The name of his belt that he uses to transform, basically, well, he uses like his whole body to transform, like using electricity running through it, but the Henshin belt, the transformation belt, right? It's called the Electrer. You can call it the Stronger Driver, it's not a bad way to say it, honestly, it's not the actual name, but the Stronger Henshin belt is called Electrer. Actually, let me show you. Erectora. Esuberto Tenko Erectora. S-Belt Lightning Electrer. So just like this. So yeah, Electabuzz, Electivire is called Electrer. It works out. The other 3 Pokemon, I have a Salazzle, so again, very recent and it's there in the Hoenn Pokemon game, right? Salazzle, who is nicknamed Newtox. So it's like a newt. And it kind of made me think of Newton. And because it's poison type, it even has Toxic as one of his moves, it's called Newtox. I like that nickname. Had to think of some of these nicknames. I have a Flygon nicknamed Victor, and it's also kind of based on Kamen Rider, because Kamen Rider B3 is based on a Dragonfly, which Flygon is kind of based on. They also changed Flygon to become a Bug Dragon type, which I think is a very, very clever choice. That's how it should have been. Flygon should be a Bug Dragon type. I don't think there's such a thing as a Bug Dragon type. So it would be great to have that unique combination. I mean, you look at it and it makes you think of like a Bug Dragon, which sounds like a very awesome concept. I hope one day we get a Bug Dragon anyway. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. And I probably will want to have it on my team. But yeah, the reason why it's called Victor is because Kamen Rider V3. V3 can stand either for version 3 or Victory 3. And that victory part, I have the name Victor from that. I was thinking of naming it Victoria, because it's actually a female Flygon. But I'm thinking of the word Victor, not the name necessarily. Like, Flygon is the victor. She is the victor. And these names that I'm picking for these Pokemon are meant to be universal. Most likely. So, but what I mean by universal is that wherever I have these Pokemon, whether Showdown or a handheld game or any other game, if I get another Miss Magius or Mischievous again, it's gonna be nicknamed the same way, implying that these are the same Pokemon traveling through dimensions with me. And well, they're as multidimensional as I am. Maybe even more multidimensional, because sometimes we may be before Gen 4 with Warlock, so it's gonna morph back into Mischievous, you might say. And part of that change also comes like possible gender changes, so I think we may get a male Flygon in another game that I play, another Pokemon game, and it still should keep the Victor name. That's the thing. They're meant to be universal. They're meant to be multidimensional. That's the word I should be using. There you go. And what was the other Pokemon? And I have... I'm trying to remember here. Gallade, Miss Magius, Salazzle, Flygon, Electivire. What was my final Pokemon? And Ludicolo, because I love Ludicolo, and the name of that Ludicolo is Rhythmo. So, rhythm, combined kind of with the Spanish word for rhythm, which is ritmo. Ritmo. And you know, Ludicolo has a whole samba sort of thing, right? Going on. And also is the signature Pokemon of Mirror B from Pokemon Colosseum and Pokemon XD, and his theme in Pokemon Colosseum goes pa 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 da pa pa el ritmo pa pa da pa. Some people have said that they actually don't say el ritmo in that song. They say que rico. But it still works out. It's still a good name for that Ludicolo, Rhythmo. So I'm very proud of those nicknames. I really put a lot of thought behind nicknames, as you can see, especially since they're quote-unquote permanent nicknames. Oh yeah, the reason why I named my Gallade Sentinel is because I was thinking of the Jedi Sentinel. Jedi Knight Sentinel from Star Wars The Old Republic. Which has dual lightsabers, and Gallade is this Pokemon that has like 2 blades. So it works out. Alright, let's continue with Fantina, or Fantina. I love her. I love her. She's a kindred spirit because she's a ghost type specialist. And she has like a sort of superstar, idol, like cosmic idol sort of feel to her. That sort of like style. So, hey, Fantina, you and I are both in the same boat, you might say. Driftblim, another fantastic ghost type Pokemon that I want to get in one of my parties eventually. In one of my playthroughs of the Sinnoh games, probably. Then we have Spiritomb. Another fantastic Pokemon. Another great Pokemon, Rotom. But we have Rotom in the default form, because that's the only one that retains the ghost type. Then Dusknoir. Based on a Pokemon from Gen 3, but this evolution was introduced until Gen 4. And then also Gengar. Not Mega Gengar though, just regular Gengar. What a beautiful ghost type Pokemon party. But 5 out of the 6 of them were introduced in Gen 4. So that's really nice. So the ghost type gym led by Fantina. Then Rourke's father Byron is next for the steel type gym. Let's see. Another reason why the streams end up taking... There's no Byron avatar? Oh, that's a shame. That's a shame. So I'm guessing Byron hasn't yet appeared in Pokemon Master CX. Or they have yet to implement this, so I'm gonna have the Ash Ketchum placeholder. No particular reason why I have this Ash as a placeholder, I just chose something kind of random. F's in the chat for Byron. Yeah, no Byron image. But we'll represent the team right here. Not the first time that has happened. I forget which character we had on the last stream, the Holland stream. It was an Elite Four member. And I think it was Drake, maybe? I'm not sure. But okay, Bastiodon is his signature Pokemon, Rock Steel type. And as awesome as that is quadruple weakness against fighting. He's the worst Sinnoh gym leader by far? Emo? Really? Why is that? I have yet to play those games. But you gotta tell me, Mist, why do you think that? Is it too much weakness on all his Pokemon? So this team is not 100% based on the teams he gets on the game. It's mostly just representing the steel types introduced in Gen 4 that are in Sinnoh. If we go beyond, if we have everything from Gen 4 already here though, then we go for the rest of the decks or other Pokemon they had. Even in Renegade Platinum is easy. He's easy. Okay. Yeah, I mean Bastiodon just break that big thing. break that bad boy. Weaknesses is his biggest issue. Yes. Okay. You made me curious. I want to see his teams. Renegade Platinum, I don't know if it modifies his teams from here, but... So, Original Diamond and Pearl, Bronzor, well... Yeah, Steelix, Bastiodon... Mostly, yeah, just... The only one that's not weak to fighting would be Bronzor, is neutral damage, but yeah. Pokemon Platinum, Magneton. Bronzor changes to Magneton. I wonder why they did that. A rematch in Platinum has Skarmory, Magnezone, Steelix, Bastiodon, Aggron. But if you have a fire type, that's also very effective, except against Bastiodon. But imagine if you started with Chimchar. You have Infernape, who is both fire and fighting. You can destroy Byron with just your Infernape. Or, Chimchar is the first form of Infernape, right? I forget. Let me check. Or is it the second one? I forget. Yeah, Monferno is the second one. Yeah, but your Chimchar, Monferno, or Infernape, it may still be a Monferno or Chimchar, yeah. I have swept this with Infernape, yeah. Yeah, they're all weak to fire. The one Pokemon that's not weak to fire is weak to fighting, which Infernape also has. Or you may have another Pokemon that's fire type with a fighting type move, or vice versa. You have a Magmortar with a fighting type move. I think that's possible. Or a Magmar if it's not Magmortar. Infernape is busted? What do you mean? How so? Especially in Renegade? That's a shame. If you like Infernape, just win with your favorites, right? I don't care about those sorts of things. Imagine if you had a Fortress, quadruple weakness to fire as well, right? Sometimes it's not just about the type weaknesses, but yeah. Really good, in other words. Oh, I thought you meant the opposite. Oh, that sounded like the opposite. But okay. Excadrill kinda makes up for that. I mean, you would have a rock type move. Or no, wait, no. I was gonna say super effective against Infernape, but no. Fighting resists rock. So it becomes neutral. Otherwise, Bastiodon could have a super effective move against a fire type as a sort of counter. But even if it hits that move, that's the problem. Like, it's most likely gonna be slower than your Pokemon, so you're gonna hit first. Especially if you're not doing it on a competitive mode like this here. Like the World Tournament team we're seeing here, all level 50. You know, you may just over-level it and that's it, right? Let's see Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl. They're based on the originals that much. Ah, the rematch gives him an Empoleon. There you go. There you go. Though your fighting type moves on Infernape are still super effective, you just have to make sure you hit first. PWC, it auto scales you to 50? Yes. Yes. By PWC, I think you mean Pokemon World Championship? The World Tournament? Yeah, and that's the idea behind a lot of this, as I mentioned earlier, that you would be scaled down to level 50. Like some other modes, I think Stadium has something like that. Sometimes they don't downscale your Pokemon if they're over-leveled. Instead, they make it so that they take the highest level Pokemon in your party, and they make that level be the Pokemon level of every Pokemon in the opponent's team, so you gotta be careful. I'd rather they just downscale it, it's a lot easier. So, Trash form, Wormadam is what I'm giving him here though. I'm actually not giving him Empoleon. I'm giving him Magnezone and Steelix, but you know what? Well, the reason why I didn't give him Empoleon is because it's present on the Water type gym leader, I think. Give me a second here, let me check the Water team. Oh yeah, Crasher Wake, what am I saying? That was Crasher Wake, and did he get an Empoleon? I did give him an Empoleon, yeah. So yeah, for variety's sake, because we're gonna see another Empoleon on one of the Pokédex holders very soon. Hold on, let me find it. This is all based on my Excel document. Wormadam not great? Well, it's for the sake of keeping everything together. These are not meant to be teams that are top of the line in meta and competitive and such. They're meant to be gimmicks, if you will. I mean, if you look at some of the teams some people have in the World Tournament, they still have a lot of weaknesses, even though they're more competitive based. We'll still try to give them good moves and good natures, good EVs, IVs, held items and such, good abilities, but we still want to retain them to an extent. Yeah, this Wormadam is not subject to change, I think. We ended up representing all the variants of Wormadam as well. This is Trash Cloak Wormadam, so it's Bug Steel, and there's the Steel type. Yeah, not a single one of these is a pure Steel type. So there you go. A different kind of party for Byron. Don't think I've ever seen anyone use Wormadam seriously. All the more reason to do this. See, this also represents as many Pokemon from the region as possible. And if we have a Pokemon that we rarely see, like in the never used, possibly used here, or whatever you want to call them, all the better. See, they're meant to be AI opponents that you face in a single player mode for fun, like the World Tournament at the Stadium. But it's for fun. So yeah, you can sweep some of these. Why not? Why not? Some of them may be very strong though, but otherwise, yeah. A lot of these you can maybe sweep like that. It's not different in like the World Tournament. The Stadium games are slightly different because they give them some Pokemon that are not even their type. For some of them, like Brock gets a Vulpix, Ninetales. That's kind of based on the anime, but still. He also gets a slow bro in like one of the parties in the first stadium, I think, or stadium 2, I don't remember. What is he doing with a slow bro? He's a rock type specialist, right? But they do that for 2 reasons. 1, because they're doing it more competitively based, and 2, because it's still Gen 1 and Gen 2, so there's a lot of like underrepresentation for some types. So now we're doing candies. Let's see if she does have, yeah, she does have an image from Master. The thing is, all these images are taken from Pokemon Masters EX, or nearly all of them. So that's why some of these are not represented. If we were doing the more old school type of trainer cards, which I decided against only because the images end up being a lot smaller. And this looks a lot better. This is fancier. Yeah, this works out better. But if we were doing those, then we would have pictures for everyone, for sure. Because it's sprites. And there's a lot of sprites from games and even fan sprites created. Here it's not sprites, it's art. So if somebody wants to do art for a character that doesn't have one, that would take more time probably. Weavile is really good as well. Use one of my Renegade Platinum runs. So much fun. We're gonna see Weavile in a moment. Yeah, you know, that goes to show you, Weavile has a quadruple weakness to fire. Not fire, sorry, fighting. Just like Bastiodon. But it's good. And also BDSP, nice. Weavile is a fun Pokemon. I'll have it in one of my parties for sure. But her signature Pokemon is Frostlass, also introduced in Gen 4. But here's Weavile, introduced in Gen 4, an evolution of a Gen 2 Pokemon, Sneasel. I think we might see the Hisuian evolution of Sneasler in one of the later teams. Another Pokemon with quadruple weakness, this time against fire, is Aboma Snow. Such a fun Pokemon though, a unique combination in grass and ice. Unique combinations like that are always fun. Scovillain recently, finally a grass fire type. I still subscribe to the idea that they should have done it in the Alola games. A Tiki Pokemon, as they suggested, as a lot of people suggested. That is fire grass or grass fire, what have you. That would have been fun. But that's okay. Scovillain is fun. And again, I'm sorry if I'm saying spoilers for the decks. Still not gonna try not to spoil anything beyond that. There's Mamoswine and then Jinx. Wasn't introduced in this generation, but it's a... I think I put it here because it's a Pokemon she's had in one of her parties, probably. I don't know, Mist, you can maybe confirm it for me, since you recall these things very well from the Sinnoh games. I really want to look up Renegade Platinum. If it's just a difficulty hack, I'm probably not gonna play it though. Those are not my type of hacks. Although the one I'm playing right now has an increased difficulty, I'm not playing it because of that. Although some of these hacks have different modes. One I'm interested in, well, fan games. I prefer to refer to them as fan games. Especially since sometimes I talk about like RPG Maker games. So it's a more universal term. But yeah, sometimes they have difficulty modes. Another one that's like that I'm interested in is Radical Red. I've heard it's very difficult, but if I go for the easiest game mode, then it might be okay. So now Volkner, the electric type gym leader. And this will finish the gym leaders. This outfit looks really nice on him too, but let's have the default one. It's meant to be the original Volkner. Mamoswine, you like Mamoswine too? That's another fun one. The signature Pokemon of Price from Johto. Used to be Piloswine, but then he got the Mamoswine evolution, right? In Heart Gold and Soul Silver, which I really want to play. They may become one of my most favorite Pokemon games of all time. Let's see. His signature is Electivire. I thought it was Luxray for sure, but it's actually Electivire, which I love. Electivire has this fun ability. I think it's Electivire, or it may be adopted from Electabuzz, which powers up punch moves. And even before abilities existed, Electabuzz was thought to be, you know, in Gen 1 and Gen 2 and such, like the punching Pokemon. In my Electivire, Electra, in the game I'm playing right now, 3 out of the 4 moves are punches. I have Thunder Punch, Bullet Punch, and Ice Punch, which is a great counter against ground types that would be super effective. Hello, Egor! Welcome to the stream. Great to have you here. I'm doing fine. I'm having a great time building the teams here. I hope you're having a good time too. On this Thursday or Friday, whatever day it is for you. How are you? Hope it's going well. And the other move that I have that's not a punch is Thunder Wave, because, you know, paralyzing is good. Paralyzing is good. And there's a lot of teams that have like IVs and held items on the game, so it's worth having that sort of thing. Also for catching Pokemon. You're not bad, that's good to hear. I hope you get to have as much fun with me here. I'm having a lot of fun here building these teams. That's why I love doing these streams. And they lend themselves well to YouTube because then it's easy to go back through the VOD for this. I'm starting to be more mindful about what I do on Twitch and what I do on YouTube in terms of like the category or the game. That's why that's why the Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines run was stopped, because I may restart it for YouTube because it may lend itself better to that sort of thing, right? Like a let's play as well in terms of the archives. But we'll see. And also, you know, if I install some mods that require a brand new game, it's gonna have to be like that. So we have, actually this is regular Rotom as well. Though this is subject to change to any Rotom, literally. Yeah, this may be changed with to any variation of Rotom. So this is where I get to be a bit more meta-minded, competitive-minded. Then he also gets Jolteon. Good old Jolteon. Super fast Pokemon Jolteon. Pachirisu, which was introduced here in Gen 4, if I'm not mistaken. And Magnezone, based on a previous Gen Pokemon, but it was introduced here. And yes, we already saw Magnezone earlier on Byron's gym. Yeah, Magnezone has quadruple weakness to ground type. You may want to give it a balloon. Because does Magnezone have a levitate ability? I don't think it does. Yeah, for example, Byron's Magnezone has an air balloon, right? It's a good idea. It's a good idea. Let me see the possible abilities that Magnezone may have. I keep thinking that it may have levitate because, you know, it looks like this floating spaceship thingy. But no, it never has levitate. It never has that. So you should give it an air balloon, probably. Magnet Ball or Sturdy, Analytic. Yeah. So that's Volkner's party. Let me save it before I forget. Have I done everyone though? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and this is 8. Yes. Sometimes I forget to save, so I need to double check. Alright, so those are all the original 8 gym leaders. You may imagine we have all the 8 badges like in the thumbnail, right? I love doing that thumbnail. Just like the way it's supposed to be is that the badges are like spinning around me, like a sort of gathering of the Master Emeralds or such. When you have the Master Emeralds and they like spin around in a circle around Sonic, around Shadow, Silver, whoever. It's like that. Because that image is based on the one I use a lot here and there. Of the 8 multicolored stars. The Infinity Stars, as I like to call them. The Shining Stars, I don't know. Whatever you want to call them. So yeah. But what was I gonna say? It works well with the badges because they're 8. For Unova, I'm probably just gonna use the badges from the first Black and White, not the second ones. And then for Alola, I'm just gonna have to do something different. That's the thing. We'll see how they look because they also changed. Yeah, Galar, for example, the badges all have a very different shape from what I recall. I haven't played the Galarian games yet, but from what I recall, they all have a specific shape because they all kind of go together in a puzzle of sorts on your badge case. Something like that, but correct me if I'm wrong. So maybe they won't look that good around me like that, but we'll see. Anyway, we have Aaron. You done messed up, Aaron. Sorry, it always makes me think of the Key and Peele segment of the substitute teacher, if you know what I'm talking about. Aaron, not Aaron or Aaron. Alright, so now we go with the Elite Four members who are now gym leaders. So the Bug-type gym leader, Aaron. His signature Pokemon is Vespiquen, or Vespiquen. I think it's meant to be pronounced Quen because it's kind of like Queen. I'm not sure, honestly. Vespiquen, Vespiquen. Oh yeah, Cricketune, which I don't think he has in any of his parties. Mothim, I think it's one of those that's like rarely ever represented. Then we also have Drapion. So Drapion not a bug type Pokemon, but the previous stage, the previous the pre-evolution of Drapion is a bug type. So this is one of the few gym leaders, Elite Four members, that actually doesn't have a monotype party. So we wouldn't be able to put this in a monotype game mode if we were doing it in Showdown. To be fair, it's not the only team like that, because there are some teams in which I have like a regional form of a Pokemon, like 2 different regional forms of the same Pokemon. For example, I think Brock had a Cantonian Golem and an Alolan Golem, and we would need to do that in Anything Goes, because otherwise they don't let you have the same species, even if it's a different regional variant. And finally, another Wormadam, and it's the one type that has been represented yet, which is the Sandy form, which is Bug Ground type. And there you are. Again, I don't know, a Wormadam, Cricket... Wait, Crickettot, I did the wrong one, my bad. It's Cricketune. Nearly got the wrong one here. But yeah, Cricketune, Wormadam, maybe not that viable competitively, but it's not about that. Not necessarily. So the first one in alphabetical order, the Bug type, Aron. And even the name of the person himself is probably the first one in alphabetical order. That works out. Then we change to Bertha, ground type gym leader, ground type expert, I should say. It's a lot more fun this way. The thing is, if I make them be Elite Four members again, there will still be a gym leader that's ground type. So what would I do with their parties? I would change them completely to not be monotype. I could still have them repeat like a lot of types or something, but yeah, it would be an entirely different story. This is why I'm against having an Elite Four in that way. So it's not exactly the end of the world if it's like that. But yeah, most Elite Four members are monotypes. The few that are not like multi-type because they're intended to be multi-type, but because of how it was in this generation, probably. Agatha and Lance being the most infamous. Though Lance in this case is just a champion. But, what was I gonna say? Agatha, yeah, like, you go to Gen 1 and there's only 3 ghost types and they're all on the same evolutionary line, so... She literally only gets a Gengar, I think, and all the other Pokemon are non-ghost types. Or wait, she has like 2 Gengars, but here we're trying not to repeat any species, regional variants aside. Because they're also meant to be... Oh, whoops, my bad, not Hippowdon. Gliscor. And I think it's meant to be Gliscor and not Gliscor, right? Because it's meant to be like Glide, Gligar, and Gliscor. But whatever, potato potato. Then Rhyperior again, because it's also a ground type. Whiscash is a water ground type, but I think she got in one of her parties, that's why I put it here. Mamoswine, once again, ice ground type. And then Nidoking, okay. She gets Nidoking. Based on one of the parties she got there, I think, or on the decks, or both. Because these are no longer like Pokemon that were introduced in Gen 4, right? No, and when we get to Kalos, when we get to the ground type specialist in Kalos, yeah, like Gen 6 only introduced 2 ground type Pokemon. One of them is a legendary, which is not being included in any of these parties. Legendaries and mythicals are for the most part out. Just in extremely special cases do we see them. But in general, they are not allowed in these parties. But yeah, the only other one is Diggersby, which is the evolution of like the regional like normal type, you know, like Rattata, Sentret, Lechonk, right? Lechonk, I love Lechonk. Oinkolon is the evolution, but it becomes a normal ground type. So there's that. So that's gonna be the signature of the Kalos ground type expert. But let's get back to Sinnoh. Next is Flint, fire type expert. Fire type gym leader. In this case, but in the originals, Elite Four member. And I also want to imagine like Mount Battle This may be easier to do for me if I ever want to actually modify a game to make it into a fan game of sorts, in which I do it like Mount Battle, in which you face 100 trainers in a row. And for every 5 trainers, every 5th trainer would be a special trainer like this. And it would cover all 18 types. So multiply 18 times 5. Let me multiply that actually. And you get 90. So that's 90 out of the 100 trainers covered. And then after that, those 90, you get the champion, the player characters, some other notable characters probably. So it would be able to fill out the 100 just fine. And in between them, just other regular trainers representing other Pokemon probably. I think that's the way it would be handled. And I think it's a good way to handle it. I would have a lot of fun just creating the parties for everyone and making it like a Mount Battle. Mount Battle, I think, is a lot of fun. When I get back to Pokemon Colosseum, I'm definitely going to do it. There's 2 versions of Mount Battle. One in which there's levels, regular levels, no level scaling. So the final trainers have Pokemon in the 60s, I think, and the first trainers have them in the teens. Like level 15 or so. Level 12 maybe, I don't remember. And so you can just out-level everyone, but you gotta make sure you have them at least in the 60s to face the final trainers. And then there's the other version that scales everybody down to 50. It's very competitive based, and a lot of fun too in that sense. Have some nice rewards there too. You can connect your Game Boy Advance games to that and compete with Pokemon from there too. That's why they were so freaking cool. So Flint's signature Pokemon is Magmortar. You know, Magmar and Electabuzz are already like awesome Pokemon in their own regard, in my opinion. I really like them. Magmortar and Electivire were like fixing something that ain't broken, in my opinion, when they were introduced. But they still didn't break it by fixing it, because Magmortar and Electivire are really, really cool too. I like them. Ah, yes, Infernape that we mentioned earlier. Here it is. Here it is. Rapidash is the next one. Let me see, I have a note here. Or Hisuian Typhlosion. I was considering Hisuian Typhlosion, but I'm gonna make it be Rapidash. That's okay. That's okay. Cantonian, original Rapidash, however you want to say it. Because the other one is not fire type at all. But what a fun looking Pokemon Galarian Rapidash is. Straight out of My Little Pony, I think. But I mean that in the best of ways, like... It's so fun to look at. And Hisuian Arcanine. Otherwise, we may have like regular Arcanine though, but I want to have Hisuian Arcanine. I want to have some fun here. That is Flint. Volkner's best friend, I think. At least that's what I've heard. So, Fire type, Gym Leader, Elite Four, Type Expert, whichever one you want to say. Flint. Now it's Lucian, Psychic type Expert. Psychic is my second favorite type. It comes very close to being the absolute favorite, but no. Ghost still takes it. But Psychic is my second favorite, so I really like Psychic Pokemon and Psychic type experts as well. Like Lucian. What was the other background option for him? Hold on. The other... Yeah. I remember different, like... Yeah, like it's a slightly different color. It's a slightly darker shade of red. Kind of more like a wine red, if you will. Of Lucian here. Or maybe not. I remember like a different shade of red. I think I'm thinking of like the original Lucian as you see him here. And here. Slightly different shade of red. Yeah, also here. But whatever. His signature Pokemon, Bronzong. And then the rest, yes, he's gonna have a Galate. Not a Mega Galate, just a regular Galate. Chimecho, how do you say this? Kimiko? I think it's Chimico. Could be Kimiko, because I think it's like Echo, right? He has a Mr. Mime as well. No Mr. Rhyme, because this is the original Mr. Mime, so there's no evolution. Alakazam as well. No Mega Evolution, just regular Alakazam. Alakazam! Kadabra. Alakazam. I always remember like the cry in the anime of Kadabra to be like Kadabra. Like with that sort of like gusto added into the word Kadabra. I like saying some words like that, like just pronouncing the k sound very strongly. Like k. and rolling the R's like that. Kadabra. Kadabra. It's fun for me, I don't know why. Oh, another one. Macargo. Macargo. I don't know why it's so much fun, but I like doing that. So yeah, I hope it's fun for you to watch me be a goofy maniac like this. Alright, so now that's all the established characters. We're not gonna do Cynthia yet, actually. We're gonna do the other... So now is the other gyms. New characters or already a pre-existing character, I don't know. But now it's gonna be the Dark type expert, the Dark type gym leader, in this case. So, in here I didn't decide what the signature Pokemon is gonna be. Either Honchkrow or Skuntank. I'm gonna make it be Honchkrow because it's like a sort of counterpart to Miss Magius, which is the signature Pokemon of the Ghost type expert Fantina in here. So it's only fitting that the Dark type expert has Honchkrow as the signature. And yes, Honchkrow is the one that has an advantage over Miss Magius, because Dark is super effective against Ghost. Unless it's the Miss Magius from that fan game and other fan games I've seen, which gives it the Fairy type. In which case now Miss Magius is the one with the advantage. It receives neutral damage from Dark, but then it can also have a super effective Fairy type move. I'm pretty sure regular Miss Magius is still able to learn a Fairy type move, but it's still gonna be weak to Ghost, so it's a double-edged sword in that sense. Kinda like a Gengar, you know? A double-edged sword against Psychic types, because you can have a super effective Ghost type move, but then Gengar is also Poison type, so one Psychic type move and your poor Gengar may be dead. The other one that I was considering for the signature Pokemon of this person would be Skuntank, but let's have it be Honchkrow. Here's Spiritomb. Reminder that we'll see Spiritomb again on Cynthia's party. We may see it in one of the Pokédex holders. I don't remember if I gave them one. Many of those parties are based a lot on like the parties in the Pokemon Adventures manga, but there's some variation here and there. Like it's not exactly as they are there. And Umbreon. Gen 4 did introduce a couple new evolutions, but it's still nice to have that Eevee representation in general. So, hold on. Let me change this to the placeholder of Ash. Again, I don't know why it's a placeholder, I just sort of chose it, I guess. Ash is like a Pokemon master, right? So he can represent every type. Yeah, because we can now call him a Pokemon master for sure. Or at least champion. But in many ways, I would say he's definitely a Pokemon master. Okay, so let's see. This is where it's gonna get a little bit tricky. So I like to have a signature Pokemon for everyone. In this case, there's two options I gave it. I gave it Garchomp, Mega Garchomp, or Hisuian Gudra as the signature. But the problem with Garchomp is that it's the signature of Cynthia, so I think it should be something different. And as weird as it is to make it be this one, I'm gonna make it be Hisuian Gudra. And I just realized that we're gonna have to be creating this party kinda from scratch, because the other Pokemon I put in there, I have two Garchomps, one of them is Mega and the other is not Mega, and I have Gabit and Gible, which are the pre-evolutions of Garchomp, but I really want to stick to fully evolved Pokemon except for some very notable exceptions now. So yeah, and I don't want to repeat Pokemon as much as possible. So this is what we're gonna do. First is gonna be the Hisuian Gudra as the signature, which is kind of bizarre, but yeah, we can afford to do that. We can afford to do that. Why does Hisuian Gudra look so sad? That's kind of heartbreaking. And anyway, Garchomp is a must. What a fantastic Pokemon. Maybe not so good nowadays in the meta or whatever, but it's still a lot of fun. Even though it has quadruple weakness to ice. Just like the next Pokemon I'm introducing here, which is Salamence. And the other three Pokemon, though, we have to decide. So we have to take a look at the Sinnoh Pokédex. Whether it's from Gen 8 or Gen 4. We really need to see that. How many dragon types do we have here that we can represent? So there's Garchomp, Dialga, Palkia, we can't have those. Altaria, okay. That's it. I don't know why I gave it a Salamence, actually. Remove Salamence. Let's remove Salamence from there. Sorry, Altaria. Just regular Altaria, I think. We have 3 spaces here. How can we take a look at the Platinum version? Like, I just want to see, together with the full dimension, I think Altaria was in Platinum instead. This might take a little while because I want to make sure that they're as close to like those games as possible. You know what I should check? I should check the Hisui Pokédex. That's what I'm gonna do right now. Okay, yeah, you have to evolve it from the beginning, right? Diamond, Pearl, Platinum, right? Yeah, Swablu is here. Let's check the Hisui Pokédex then. This is a very notable case in that we have list of Pokemon by Hisui Pokédex number. Yeah, in that this region has another version of it in the past version. Dialga, Palkia, Giratina. Oh my gosh, that's it for the Dragon type. Oh no! What can we do here? What can we do? What should we do, Maniacs? I think we just take a lot of liberties with this. By national Pokédex number. Let me take a look again at the ones introduced in Gen 4. In case I missed anything. So we have 3 spaces left still. I have no idea what to do here. I'm going to put somebody from Gen 8 though. Just to represent the fact that Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl were in like that generation as well. So let's see what Galar has to offer. Just one in general from there. Appletoon or Flapple could be good. That's the first to consider. You know what else is there? Dragapult. It might be a bit overpowered to do so, but I think I want to give it a Dragapult. Or Duraludon might be good. Dracovish, Dracosalt. What do you think? Should we put... So let's put it in a vote. Let's make a vote of this. Why not? Or well... This is my first opportunity to make a poll, actually. So... Yeah. Which one of these Gen 4 Pokemon should we add? And it's exactly 4 options here. Arctovish, Dracosalt. You can also tell me in the chat, by the way. Duraludon, Arctovish, Dracosalt, or the meta, the top of the meta. Dragapult. The first poll we make. Let's see. If it's a tie, you know what? I'm just gonna decide randomly. Or, yeah, it's a good opportunity to roll a die, I think. Let's run it for a few minutes then. Oh, I actually didn't check the length of that. I don't know if there's a length. Maybe it ends when I say it ends. But yay, finally a poll in the chat. I've been looking forward to doing that for a while. So, let's see. Other dragons, Eternatus, but yeah, we can't count that one. Regidragon, not going for legendaries. So we're not having either of them. I don't know. At this point, I really don't know what could be good for dragon types. This is another gym that has foreign Pokemon. Very, very foreign Pokemon. I'm thinking of like... Let's check the Johto Pokédex because the Johto games were also in Gen 4. Like, yeah. Like, it works out. It checks out, you might say. But I don't want to repeat certain Pokemon. Kingdra and Dragonite, yeah, they're the only ones because... The thing about them is that Kingdra is the signature Pokemon of Claire. Dragonite is the signature Pokemon of Lance, and of the Dragon-type expert that is not Lance, from Kanto. But you know what, I think I'm just gonna repeat them to represent the generations that had already existed before Gen 4. and to represent the Johto decks in that way. And then, yeah, just that along with the Gen 8 Pokemon that we're gonna decide in a moment. This is still the lo-fi Sinnoh playlist, by the way. It's not the end of the world if we repeat a signature for somebody else. I just try to avoid it, but it's fine like this. So, I think I should still give it a couple minutes before we decide. Let me drink some water in the meantime. Sorry if you hear that noise. It's just me opening my bottle. We're going at a decent pace though. I think we are gonna hit the 3-hour mark as before. Or no, actually no. It's earlier than I thought, actually. I'm terrible with time sometimes. No pun intended. I thought we were over 2 hours live. It's only over an hour so far, like an hour and a half. But yeah. Even if it takes a while though, I end up dividing the VOD, the video, the archive video, into segments after the stream. Because it's much easier to do than I thought. I can do it immediately after I finish. Well, there's a couple other things I have to do, like the Twitter message, maybe some other things after I finish the stream, but after that I can go back, just scroll very quickly through the video, and from there just put the what's it called, the dividers, the time dividers, I forget the actual name, but you get the point. The timestamps, there we go, the timestamps. You know, it's also easy for these streams because it's easy to tell. Like when I start doing the building of the teams, which is one of the timestamps, I switch to this screen from the portal, from the multi-dimensional portal screen. And it's easy to tell, but on other streams, if I were on the same screen, when I switch topics, when I switch to doing something else or talking about something else, it wouldn't be as easy to tell. Let's end the poll though. So, let's decide this randomly, alright? Since there's not enough votes for something like this, it's basically a tie. Roll a d4, and I'm gonna do it in the order in which I put them on that poll there. Let's roll a d4, and it is Dragapult! Because number 1 is Duraludon, number 2 Arctovish, number 3 Dracozolt, number 4 Dragapult. Alrighty then. If I make this team on Pokemon Showdown, which is the intent, yeah, it's gonna have a strong Pokemon in Dragapult. Let's go. The thing is, Hisuian Pokemon I think are still not possible in Showdown. But otherwise, yeah, we can do this. I can just have regular Goodra, because why not? So this is the Dragon team. Look at that Dragapult over there. Alright, now the Fairy type expert. The Fairy type gym leader of Sinnoh. Again, I'm not changing the character art because these are like new characters that we would have of some sort. So we just need to put a placeholder in there. Otherwise, I would put it empty, but there's no way to have an empty spot. So the signature Pokemon of this person is Mr. Mime. Why did I make it be Mr. Mime? It should be Togekiss. Togekiss is a better signature Pokemon because it was introduced in Gen 4. I feel like it's better that way. That's the way the cry goes for Togekiss. That's my recreation of that. Anyway, hold on. Where's my window? Okay. Because I'm referring to an Excel document that I have here on one of my other monitors to do this. So Clefable, which was also in the Kanto Fairy type gym leader, but that's okay. Azumarill, and then I have Sylveon, which is part of the Hisui Pokédex, and it also represents an evolution because Eevee is here. So Sylveon is a fine one to put here. It's okay. Again, some foreign Pokemon, so to speak, may show their face here. Mr. Mime also here, regular Mr. Mime, because Galarian Mr. Mime is not fairy type. And then Alolan Ninetales, because it's part of the Hisuian Pokédex as well. So when it can be part of that, that also works out, I would say. So this is the party of the fairy type gym leader. Alright. Remember, we'll look at them all later. Now, a flying type gym leader for Sinnoh. Let's see. Yes, the signature Pokemon is going to be Staraptor. I love that name, Staraptor. Of course, I'm going to be a sucker for a name like that. Probably should get a Staraptor in one of my Sinnoh parties for one of the games. But yeah, Staraptor, the signature. The regional bird, you might say. Then we also get Fan Rotom, because it becomes a flying type. Electric flying. How many electric flying types are there now? Because the regional bird of Paldea is electric. Kilowattrel, was it? I don't remember. Because it used to be exclusive to legendaries with Zapdos. Because, you know, when you have a situation in which sometimes when you have a type that is super effective against another type combined with that type, for example, electric is super effective against flying. And by the way, sorry if you hear barking in the background from some dogs. When you combine them both, it's like it gains and it neutralizes electric damage against flying because electric resists it. It's also like Scovillain being grass fire, like Ludicolo being grass water. Two very opposite types from each other teaming up. It tends to be a rare thing for some of them. That's why there's only one water grass type, which is Ludicolo, one grass fire type, which is Scovillain, one water electric type, which is Lantern. So this one is almost the same. You know what else is flying type though? The Riftblim. So here's Riftblim again. What a fantastic Pokemon. It's just fun, like a ghost like air balloon. I mean, it's really, really freaking cool. I love it. Also, Honchkrow. Oh, we have Chatot. I think we really don't see this one a lot in teams for this sort of thing, so that's great to have. In Gliscor, ground flying type. Isn't that interesting? If there's Terastallizing for some of these Pokemon, some of them may have like an extra type. It's neither of their two types. Especially for Drapion on Aaron's team, it gets like a Bug Terra type. But yeah, this is the flying gym leader. Let's go now for the normal gym leader. And yes, Bibarel is on this team. And that is the signature because it's the regional normal Pokemon. The regional Rattata, you might say. The regional, like, early game normal, right? If you want to call it that. So it's subject to change in Crasher Wake's party, but for now it's fine. It's fine. If it changes, it will change to Gyarados. That's the other option I put there. Or we may have both Bibarel and Gyarados if we take out one of the Gastrodons. Ambipom, which was introduced this generation. Lopunny, another Gen 4 Pokemon. And no, wait a minute. This is Mega Lopunny we're putting here. Ooh, yes. Let's go. Mega Lopunny, which now becomes fighting type. Normal fighting, like Beware. Porugly as well. I've heard that Porugly, like, at some point in Gen 4 or in one of the games or in one of the meta of a generation used to be like a very overpowered Pokemon, but I'm not sure. You can tell me if I'm right or wrong in the chat. Leaky, also from Gen 4, but based on a Gen 1 Pokemon. Speaking of which, Porygon Z. Right here. Yes, of course, we need to have Porygon Z. Porygon Seto. Shoutouts to Ichiro Mizuki. May he be at peace now. May he rest in peace now. But you know, Messenger Z. So now we have Porygon Seto. I love saying Seto like that. And you can thank Aniki Miski Ichiro for that. Alright, and to complete the types, we have the Poison type gym leader of Sinnoh. I can tell you we're definitely going at a much faster pace than past streams. We've established how to do this, so... Yeah. Now we're establishing like a routine for this. I know what I have to do for these trainer cards. And thus it doesn't have to be a 4+ hour long stream. It's also better for the VOD that way. Although again, I divide the VOD a certain way. So I said that either Toxic Croak or Skuntank is the signature. I'm gonna make it be Skuntank as the signature for this one, especially since it's no longer the Dark type signature Pokemon. It ended up being Honchkrow, and that fits. Then Rose Raid is also here. But yeah, I mentioned Toxic Croak is gonna be in this party. And Drapion is also here. The Drapion in Aaron's team is subject to change, I guess. Ah, yes. Here we have a Hisuian Pokemon, Sneasler, a poison fighting type, or rather fighting poison type. And here's another one, Overquill, dark poison type. But it's not in the dark type party. Look at that thing. Look at that thing. An impressive looking Pokemon. I'd love to have it when I finally play Legends Arceus. I might end up doing several playthroughs of it if I can. Who knows? Who knows? We'll see. But yeah, that's gonna be a poison type Overquill. Alright, so that completes all the type experts, all the gym leaders if you will. Now, let's do the mighty champion of this region, Cynthia. I think even still to this day, she remains like the strongest champion of all the games. Strongest champion like when you face her in her games and such. So she has like 10 different options. I mean, she's a very popular character. Well, look at that hair bun style she has. That looks so lovely. I like that. I like that. It's fun to style your hair with a hair bun when you can pull it off. And I know because I pulled it off. I've done that too. But the most default look for Cynthia, so to speak, needs to be that traditional look. And yes, we begin with her signature Mega Garchomp. Gotta start out. I usually try to have the first Pokemon that we list here be the signature Pokemon of the person. Most of the time I do that. Then Spiritomb, so no longer are we having any monotype parties or near monotype parties. She also has a Togekiss, which is the signature of the Fairy Gym Leader. That's okay. She has a Milotic. And then Rose Raid and Lucario. Very strong party. Very strong party. And this 100% like her original team. Yeah, for the most part, the champions don't get any changes to their team. For the most part. Here's Cynthia. And now we're gonna do the Pokédex holders. Player characters, rivals, those sorts of people. Starting with Dawn, who gets Piplup as her starter, which means she gets Empoleon. Let's see all her variations. Some of these are Signet suits. She looks really cool with the other variations of it. See, this is why it's a shame they didn't bring customization to Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl. Or so I've heard. Because then, look at that. Like, it would have been a great opportunity to have like a hat like this, maybe, or something like that. These outfits. But alright. There's Dawn. I think it is based on the anime, the fact that she's given a Piplup, which is now Empoleon. Because in Adventures, I think she gets a different starter. Lady Platinum Burlitz. I like to think that she's called Dawn Platinum Burlitz or Platinum Dawn Burlitz. We probably would have... Oh, there's no Lucas. Okay. Wait, what am I doing? No. I'm not paying attention, sorry. I was looking at Lucas' party. My mind just sort of registered this as already ending the party for Dawn. I don't know why. No, there's gotta be a Lucas on the trainers, right? Let me see. Yeah. Sometimes I do that. Like, I sort of mistakenly put something else here. What's next? Togekiss. She also has a Togekiss like Cynthia. Cool. In this case, it's okay to repeat the types. And again, this party is based probably on the Adventures party. don't remember if the rivals were also player characters in the Sinnoh games, and if they are, it's probably based on one of those parties. She gets a Cherim, which I think is based on... I'm gonna make it be the other Cherim, just to have it visible in one of the trainer cards. And a Rapidash. Probably in the adventures or the games, in the adventures manga or the games, I'm not sure. Anyway, this is Dawn. Lucas now. Yes, we actually have Lucas next. His starter is Turtwig, so he gets Torterra. Torterra, wonderful grass-ground combination, though it's ultra weak to ice. It's still fun. Leaky for him as well. And then Wash Rotom. Now that's a fun one. I think Adventures gave him Lantern, and I changed it to be Wash Rotom. Maybe, I'm not sure about that though. He gets a Rampardos. That's a good one. Dos Noir. Some of these, every once in a while, I think they're my own input, and I think Rampardos is that, but he may have had it in Adventures, I'm not sure. He also gets a Flareon, which I think may have been my own input. Because I wanted him to cover fire, water, and grass. Ideally, they cover that, but not always, not always. Kind of like making up for the starter they didn't get. I always like that idea. That's what ends up happening to, like, a lot of your rivals. Definitely happens with Blue. Like... he has a replacement for the fire starter if he doesn't get it. He has a replacement, which is Arcanine and Ninetales in yellow. A replacement for Blastoise if he doesn't get it, for Squirtle, which is Gyarados. And his Cloyster in yellow, if I'm not mistaken. He has a replacement for the grass starter if he doesn't get it, Bulbasaur, Venusaur, which is Exeggutor. And it's the same in yellow, it's still Exeggutor, I think. Which is interesting, because then if he gets Exeggutor, that means he repeats the Psychic type. Like, he has a nice multi-type party, but he repeats the type by having both Alakazam and Exeggutor in there. But moving on, it's Barry. Not a player character, but a rival, still needs to be put here. Yes, and he's here. Good to see him. His father is a Frontier brain in the Battle Frontier. It's possible that we have some Battle Frontier characters become some of these gym leaders. Some of them can fit as a gym leader for a type, I think. I already did that in the past generation. There was a Frontier brain from Emerald that I think can fit really nicely as a poison type gym leader of Hoenn, with Seviper as her signature, Pokemon, sorry. But yeah, his starter was Chimchar, so he's the one that gets Infernape. It's fun to have the three starters represented in a different party. We may not get to see that for Hisui because there's only the 2-player characters. Like, you don't get like a new rival that's not a player character. But we'll get to that in a moment. First, let's finish his party. He gets a Roserade here, so also repeated from some other parties. Look at that Heracross over there. Floatzel, which... what was the signature Pokemon of Crasher Wake? I think it was Floatzel, right? And he gets a Snorlax that he started off as Munchlax. If I'm not mistaken, Munchlax got introduced in Gen 4, right? I keep thinking it was introduced in Gen 3, but I think it's actually from Gen 4. Yeah, I keep thinking it's from Gen 3. But no, it is from Gen 4, yeah. So let's have Barry, because with Barry, I think this was based more on the game than the Adventures parties. But don't quote me on that. Alright, so we have actually not finished here. I want to do something fun with Hisui. We are gonna represent the Hisui region. So, first, let's start with Akari, the maybe ancestor to Dawn. Maybe. To represent Akari, because I doubt she has her own, like... her own... Oh yeah, she is here. Look at that. Okay, perfect, perfect. Yeah, and she's not taken from Master CX. I can just tell she's not from Master CX here. Hey, this works out. I like it when the plan comes together. All according to Keikaku. Translator's note, Keikaku means plan. Alright, her signature Pokemon. So, we only have Rei and Akari. We don't have 3 people here, so it's a new character that I'm just gonna put with question marks and with the Ash placeholder to have the other starter. But Akari starter to have a parallel to Dawn is going to be the water starter Oshawott, which will evolve into Hisuian Samurott. Because I also wanted to represent a few Pokemon that were introduced in Legends Arceus. So, how do you pronounce that, by the way? Is it Arceus or Arceus? I always pronounce it Arceus, but I've heard so much of like Arceus. But yeah, the water dark Samurott from Hisui. She gets Hisuian Lilligant. This artwork is from Legends Arceus. Hold on, let's have the official artwork. We always try to get the official artwork. So yeah, this variant of Lilligant is a grass fighting type. Then she gets Hisuian Gudra, which we already saw for the Dragon type gym leader. I don't know why I gave her this Pokemon. I don't know why I did this, but I gave her a Pikachu in here. I don't know why she has a Pikachu, but okay. She should have a unique kind of Pikachu. Just for the fun of it, I'm gonna give her the Sinnoh Pikachu. Why not? Why not? Why not? I don't know why I gave her a Pikachu. Must have been something to do with Arceus itself, or save data that you get a Pikachu on Legends Arceus is weird. But yeah, Hisuian Braviary, which is Psychic Fighting type. Sorry, Psychic Flying type. I don't know what I'm saying. And Hisuian Sorork. I think this is maybe based on like the party that she gets in the game. Let me check it. I think it's probably based on one of these. Right. She had a Pikachu in one of them. But I changed all the other Pokemon to be like Hisuian variants of Pokemon. Or evolutions of Hisuian variants of Pokemon. Or like a unique Hisuian evolution for Pokemon. So we could have them represented. Because it's a lot more fun like this. And even then, there were some I didn't represent. That would be better to have. But yeah. I wanted to represent the fact that she gets a Pikachu. Rei is probably the same. So I made it so that the central player character, so to speak, which is not really like that, but like the one that would get the first starter, so to speak, is Rei in this case, not Akari, because in the main Sinnoh region, I made it be Dawn, so I wanted to make that change as well. Right, it's meant to represent this thing from the game, so she gets a Pikachu. Funny enough. Funny enough. But yeah, Rei in the anime? Oh, the Arceus Chronicles. I'm like, what? They have Rei and Akari in the anime? I'm thinking of the anime with Ash Ketchum. Like, no way. No way they did that. But yeah. But that's gonna be Akari. Yeah, they should also use artwork from the official games then. Surely there's something they can use from Brilliant Diamond, Shining Pearl, or Byron. But that's okay. So next is gonna be Rei, and yes, he'll get the grass starter for that parallel with Lucas. You know, it still feels weird to think that Legends Arceus came out this year. Doesn't feel like it was this year. Like, yeah, you know, it's been a long year, other things have happened. Every year is long in its own way. Even when they feel short, they also feel long. So it's a constant paradox through life. Or at least, maybe it's just me, I don't know. I know I'm not alone in that, but it's the way I feel. But it's also because Scarlet and Violet came out, right? That Legends Arceus feels more distant. There's a bookend of Pokemon in this year. They have Legends Arceus at the beginning, and at the end, Scarlet and Violet. Near the end of the year, at least. Now, Rei's party, yes, he's gonna begin with Hisuian Decidueye. Grass Fighting. Becomes red. Which is really cool, honestly. I prefer the Ghost type, ultimately, but it's cool too. He gets Basculegion right here. And then Hisuian Arcanine. Whoops. Arcanine. Hisuian Arcanine here, which we've already seen in quite a few teams here and there. But it's okay. Overquill, which we also saw before. Let's use the official artwork whenever we can. Then I gave him Galarian Mr. Mime. No, I gave him Mr. Mime. This is probably borrowing from the parties they get here. So I gave them a Pokemon that would be found in the game party. So he got Mr. Mime, Akari got Pikachu. Because, why did I give her Pikachu? I don't know. I think I maybe just chose it semi-randomly or randomly, or I don't know. But anyway, the last Pokemon is a Staraptor. Sure, I don't know why I went for Staraptor particularly, but sure. But let me check something quickly. Because one that I haven't represented is not in the next party, it's Kleavor. It's a Bug Rock type, which he already has. Yeah, so there's no room in his party. And for Akari, we would have to switch Pikachu, which I don't want to do for the reasons I just said. Yeah, there's not going to be room for Kleavor because Hisuian Avalugg is what we're going to have on the next one, and it's also a rock type. So yeah, it's not going to work out. This is a really cool Pokemon. Like, a different evolution for Scyther. Scyther in itself is such a great Pokemon. I like it. Great style. Scizor. I love Scizor. And Kleavor. I love Kleavor just as well. So everything in the Scyther evolutionary line, I love. And that's great. That's a great thing to say. But alright. Let's save Ray here then. I think I haven't saved the picture yet. Yes, let's save it. And now, a mysterious third character. I don't know. Alternately, what I may do is to give one of them the 3 starters in a party and the other person doesn't have any of the starters. It's a sort of red situation here. If you only have 2 people and you want to represent the 3 starters, that's how it's got to be, I think. That's an approach I may do with a future video game. Like, let's say I have Scarlet and Violet. In Scarlet, I have a party with the 3 starters, and in Violet, I don't have any of the starters. Like, I get the starter, but then I just put it on the PC. And that's it. Anyway, the final party, so we have somebody with the 3rd starter. Which is, what was it again? Hisuian Typhlosion from Cyndaquil. This is why I didn't put it in Fantina's or Flint's party. Now here's the ghost type, Hisuian Typhlosion. Looks cool. First of all, I love the ghost type, and second, the flames like on the back of it are like purple with red. I love the look of that. You know, I'm gonna be a sucker for that. Then Hisuian Electrode. We also have Sneasler here. Sneasler is such a fun looking Pokemon as well. And we have Hisuian Avalugg. Or it could be Kleavor instead. But I'm gonna make it be Avalugg. I know, quadruple weakness to fighting, so maybe it's not a good idea. But, well, actually, what should I do? You know what? Let's roll a die again. So, let's roll another die. This is gonna be a D20 this time. Let's do it from here. Even number, it's Avalugg. Odd number, it's Kleavor. Let's see. Okay, it is gonna be Avalugg. That's a 4. Look at that! A 4 again on a D20. And a 4 on a D4. There's something faithful happening here. Hey, Sinnoh first got introduced in Generation 4. So that's very fitting. That's faithful right here. The other 2 Pokemon I gave this are Alakazam and Vaporeon. Okay, I made this character possibly be this person called Silene. And I made a note saying that this might be changed if it's not this person, but the reason why... I guess she just fills in that blank as the leader of the Galaxy Team Survey Co. And that's why she has an Alakazam, because it's based on that Abra. Okay. Then she gets Alakazam, not Mega. Next one, I gave Vaporeon, but I made a note to maybe replace it with a Sinnoh water type. Why don't we check that Sinnoh Pokédex first? Hisui Pokédex, I mean. Not the Sinnoh Pokédex. And see what water types there are. If I didn't place any more Hisuian Pokemon, any that were introduced in Legends Arceus, is because there weren't any left without repeating a type. So let's see. This is why I put Vaporeon there. Float Cell may be a better idea, actually. I also didn't want to put Float Cell because it's already there in the party of one of the Pokédex holders from Sinnoh. What about a Walrein? A Walrein is in the Pokédex. Octillery. Yeah, Okay, I know the die told me to put Avalog in there, but I'm gonna change it. Because Walrein is gonna be an Ice type. I get to represent the Ice type through Walrein here. And I get to have Cleavor. So yeah, I'm sorry I'm going against the die. Especially after he had like double force. This is really cool, but it's a nice opportunity to do it like this. Yeah, we can have this. This will do. And it's gonna be just a new character. And that is all the trainer cards to create for today. Wonderful. Alright, now let's make a quick summary of them. Now that we have created all of them. Give me a second here. Let me put on the pictures for this. I first have to delete the previous ones. Takes a little minute to do this. Because I can't choose all of them at once. So they've got to be 18 for each type. And let's see. I have 25 trainer cards. Because it's 18 for each type. Plus 3 protagonists. Another 3 protagonists. Let's call them that. And Cynthia, that's 7. 18 plus 7, yes, that's 25. So the numbers are all good. I didn't miss anything. Because sometimes I forget to save them. And I would have to do them again to make sure I have them saved. Or the gallery that we're about to showcase here. Or the Ultimate Sinnoh League with some Hisuian cameos. This will probably be like post-game stuff. Doing something like based on Hisui. If this were like a full game of some sort. Okay, so let's take a look at them. Here's the final gallery of all the teams that we have made for this. 18 gyms for each and every type, and then some other notable characters based on player characters, rivals, and such, and some others in some cases, and also the champions, Cynthia. In this case, only one champion, not counting player characters as champions, right? Though they do eventually become champions. So first, the Bug-type gym leader, Aaron. He has Vespiquen, Yanmega, Cricketune, Mothim, Drapion, and what was the ground version of Wormadam, I think. Or no, wait, which version was this? No, this is... Yeah, this is the ground version of Wormadam. Sandycloak Wormadam. I would be saying the types of the Pokemon too, but I don't remember the types for all of them. So we'll just keep it like this. Well, for these, I think I remember their types, so I'm gonna mention it. The Dark-type Gym Leader, with their signature Hunchcrow, Dark Flying type, Skuntank, Poison, Dark-type, Spiritomb, Ghost, Dark-type, or Dark Ghost, I may be getting the order wrong, but it doesn't matter really. Drapion, Poison, Dark-type, Weavile, and yeah, Aaron also had Drapion, which is not a Bug-type, but the pre-evolution Scorpy is a Bug-type. It still checks out, I would say. I think it's still fine. This is a notable exception. It doesn't need to necessarily be monotype, but for the most part we try to make it be monotype, though that Drapion is subject to change for something else, especially since it is present in this party, right? But yeah, also Weavile, Dark Ice type, and Umbreon, Pure Dark type. Next is the Dragon-type Gym Leader. This one got really tricky, but we got a party here. Hisuian Gudra, which is Dragon Steel type, I think it was the second one, correct me if I'm wrong. Garchomp, Dragon Ground type. Altaria, Dragon Flying, because it's not Mega Altaria. Kingdra, Water Dragon. Dragonite, Dragon Flying, and Dragapult. Ghost Dragon. Or Dragon Ghost, whatever the order is, I forget. Then Electric type Gym Leader Volkner. Electivire, Pure Electric. Luxray, Electric. Rotom, Electric Ghost. Jolteon, Pure Electric as well. Pachirisu, Pure Electric. And Magnezone, Electric Steel. A lot of Pure Electrics right there. The Fairy type Gym Leader. First, the signature Togekiss, Fairy Flying. Clefable, Pure Fairy. Azumarill, Water Fairy. Sylveon, Pure Fairy. Mr. Mime, Psychic Fairy. And Alolan Ninetales, or wait, is it Galarian Ninetales or Alolan? No, yeah, it's Alolan, I think. Correct me if I'm wrong, I keep forgetting these things. Alolan Ninetales, Ice Fairy type. Yeah, I keep like mixing up Rapidash and Ninetales because they're both fire types originally, and then no, Galarian Rapidash, who is also a fairy type in that regional form. That's why I'm not sure if it's Galarian or Alolan, but yeah, Ninetales is the one that gets Alolan forms, an Alolan form. Vulpix and Ninetales. Anyway, Fighting type Gym Leader Maylene. Mega Lucario, her signature, Fighting Steel type. Toxicroak, Poison Fighting. Infernape, Fire Fighting. Gallade, Psychic Fighting. Heracross, Bog Fighting. And Medicham, Psychic Fighting. 2 Psychic Fighting types. Funny how that works, right? Not a single Pure Fighting type on this one, which is okay. But Flint definitely has some Pure Fighting types. The Fire type Gym Leader, in this case. His signature Magmortar, Pure Fighting. Infernape, Fire Fighting. Here's Infernape again. Rapidash, Pure Fire, right? Yeah, Pure Fire. Houndoom, Dark Fire. Flareon, Pure Fire. And Hisuian, Arcanine. Maybe subject to change to just regular Arcanine. Fire Rock type. Isn't that fun? Then the Flying type Gym Leader. We're going through them alphabetically, by the way. That's why they're like this. We have the signature Staraptor, Flying Normal, or rather Normal Flying. Rotom, which is Fan Rotom, Electric Flying. Drifblim, Ghost Flying. Hunchcrow, Dark Flying. Chatot, which I think is also Normal Flying. Gliscor, Ground Flying. Let me double check that Chatot. Yeah, because there's very, very few pure flying types. It feels like one of the backwards changes they should have done at some point is to just make a lot of these birds pure flying type. Many of the regional birds like Staraptor, Pidgey, Pidgeot, Hoot, etc. They should just be a pure flying type. But Ghost type Gym Leader Fantina, or Fantina, I keep forgetting how you say that. I think it's Fantina. Anyway. Her signature, Miss Magius, Pure Ghost type. Drifblim, Ghost Flying. Spiritomb, Ghost Dark. Or is it Dark Ghost? I think it's Dark Ghost. Rotom, Electric Ghost. Dusknoir, Pure Ghost type. And Gengar, Ghost Poison type. This is my favorite type. So, I always love seeing these types of parties. I gotta start doing like a bunch of different Ghost Monotype parties in Showdown. I actually have a couple. I have 2, but there's only really like 1 different Pokemon between them. I want to do others with like even other Pokemon. I need to do one with Dragapult. But yeah, Grass type Gym Leader Gardenia. Her signature Roserade, Grass Poison. Leafeon, Pure Grass. Carnivine. What was Carnivine? Was it Grass Dark or... Let me check. Yeah, I think I like to say the types. Oh yeah, it's Pure Grass. I keep mistaking it with the one from Hoenn, like Cacnea and Cacturn, because I think that's the one that's Grass Dark. Anyway, Cherim, Pure Grass. Plant Cloak or Default Wormadam. Bog Grass. And Torterra, Grass Ground. This Torterra may be subject to change with Tangrowth. Tangrowth is also introduced in Gen 4. But I think Erika and Kanto does have a Tangrowth. Or Tangela. But I think I did give her the fully evolved Tangrowth there. Ground type Gym Leader, in this case, Bertha. Her signature Hippowdon, Pure Ground. What a fun Pokemon Hippowdon is. Those big tanky ground type Pokemon can be fun. Like another one, there was a recent one that was also like that. Well, Bastiodon is like that. It's not pure ground, but it applies. But Well, there's Motsdale. It's not like this big, humongous thing like a hippopotamus, like Hippowdon, but feels like there was another one recently. But no, anyway. Gliscor, ground flying. Rhyperior, ground rock. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's ground rock because Golem, Geodude, those are the ones that are rock ground. This one is ground rock, right? Whiscash, water ground. Mamoswine, ice ground. And Nidoking, poison ground. You may be getting the order wrong for some of those, but again, ultimately it doesn't really matter for this. Ice-type Gym Leader candies. We have Frostlass, and I think that's actually the end of the Lo-Fi Sinnoh playlist. Nice, 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 nice. Let's return to the other songs I have here. Ah, yes. Starting with the stream song. You know why it starts with that song? Because I don't have Shuffle on. Do I have Shuffle on? Shuffle is on, actually. Never mind. Anyway. I know this one is a little bit louder. Hope it's okay. As long as you get to hear my voice just fine, which I think you can. Let me recenter myself here. Her signature, Frostlass, Ice Ghost. Weavile, Dark Ice. Abomasnow, Grass Ice. Glaceon, Pure Ice. Mamoswine again, Ice Ground. And Jinx, Ice Psychic. A fun party. I think it's a fun party. Then the normal type Gym Leader of Sinnoh. The signature is Bibarel, normal water type. Then there's Ambibomb, pure normal. Mega Lopunny, normal fighting. Parugly, pure normal. Licky Licky, pure normal. And Porygon Set, pure normal as well. Yeah, there's a lot of like normal type experts that get like a lot of pure normals. Because there's a lot of pure normal type Pokemon, I guess. Next is the Poison type Gym Leader, and with this we finish the 18 gyms of every single type for this ultimate version of the Sinnoh Pokémon League. The signature Pokemon of this Gym Leader is Skuntank, Poison Dark, then Roserade, Grass Poison, Toxicroak, Poison Fighting, Drapion, Poison Dark. I think I am gonna remove Drapion from Aaron's party when I eventually like make it in a game or something. I probably should do that. With just another bug type in Sinnoh, another bug type you may have gotten in the video games. Sneasler, Poison Fighting, and Overquill, Poison Dark, if I'm not mistaken. I keep thinking it's water type, but this variant loses the water type. Hisuian, Quillfish, and Overquill. Oh, I forgot to put the... okay, this is not in alphabetical order. I forgot to put the... So usually when I name them... Or no, wait, this is in alphabetical order. Sorry, I got it wrong. We still have some gyms to go. My bad. Yeah, Lucian, the Psychic type Gym Leader. It's because the last one I saved when I was doing them was Poison, but I forgot the alphabetical order. I forgot the alphabet. No, the last one is always Water when I do them. Yeah, sorry. Psychic type Gym Leader Lucian. His signature Bronzong Steel Psychic type. Then Galate Psychic Fighting type. Kimiko, I don't know how you say it, sorry. Kimiko, I think it's pure Psychic. Let me check. Let me double check that. It is indeed pure Psychic. Mr. Mime, Psychic Fairy. Alakazam, pure Psychic. And Espion, also pure Psychic. I think we actually have every evolution represented in Sinnoh, funny enough. Because the Fairy type Gym Leader got Sylveon as well, so... all 8 evolutions I think are present here. Well, Vaporeon is not in Crasher Wake's party. No, never mind. And I didn't give Vaporeon to the Hisuian character either, so... Vaporeon is the only one missing. I don't think we gave Vaporeon to anyone, right? Anyway. The Rock-type Gym Leader Rourke. His signature Rampardos, pure Rock. Sudowoodo, also pure Rock. Then Hisuian Arcanine, which is Fire Rock. Yeah, I think Flint should get regular Arcanine, actually. I think I'm gonna change it to regular Arcanine. Let me put that here in the document, actually. Just changing that. Okay. Rhyperior Ground Rock. Golem Rock Ground. There's the difference. Relicanth Water Rock. Then his father, who doesn't have a picture, unfortunately, here, but the Steel-type Gym Leader Byron. His signature Bastiodon, Rock Steel type. Bronzong Steel Psychic type. Lucario, fighting steel type. I'm thinking of Empoleon for some reason. Wormadam, Trash Cloak, I think it's called. Bog, steel type. Magnezone, electric steel type. And Steelix, steel ground type. It's fun to be seeing these parties and reading them out loud and such. I hope it's as fun for you as it is for me. But finally, to actually finish all the 18 gyms with the water type gym leader Crasher Wake. Maximum Mask. Maximum Kamen. They should have just translated the name exactly as it was. Maximum Mask. Like, that's such a great name. In English, it's an alliteration. Maximum Mask. Such a great name. So yeah, Maximum Mask's team. Load Cell Pure Water, I think. Luminion Pure Water, I think also. One of the Gastrodon variants, I forget which is west and which is east. But let's say Pink Gastrodon, Water Ground. Blue Gastrodon, Water Ground. Empoleon, Water Steel. And Bibarel, Normal Water. So, if we change Gastrodon, if we change one of those Gastrodons, it probably changes to Gyarados, which would be Water Flying. It wouldn't be Mega Gyarados, so it's just Water Flying Gyarados. Now the other characters. First, the unknown Hisuian character to complement like the 3 starters with Rei and Akari, so that all 3 starters are in somebody's team, but without all 3 of them being on the same team. Also provides more opportunities for more Hisuian Pokemon representation. That's the other reason why I did this. So, Typhlosion, Hisuian Typhlosion, Fire Ghost type, the signature of this person, which may be against Xylene, which is like the ancestor maybe of Cyrus. But this is a good person, unlike Cyrus. Hisuian Electrode, Grass, Electric type, or rather Electric Grass type. Sneasler, Poison Fighting type. Cleavor, Bog Rock type. Alakazam, Pure Psychic. And Walrein, Water Ice type. Or maybe it's Ice Water for Walrein. I think it's Ice Water actually. Dugong is the one that's like Water Ice. But yeah. Then Akari. She gets Hisuian Samurott, Water Dark type. Lilligant, Grass Fighting type. Hisuian Lilligant. Hisuian Gudra, which we've seen before, which is Dragon Steel type. Maybe I can actually give her Avalog here, just so we end up having everything represented, because Hisuian Gudra is already like in the party of the Dragon type gym leader. Maybe I can give her that actually. Let me make a note actually to maybe place that there. I'm gonna make a note on the Excel document I have for this. Akari. Let's see. Yeah, we'll put the note for or Avalog. When I eventually make this in Showdown or in another game if possible. But yeah, anyway, she gets Pikachu, pure electric type, maybe with that Sinnoh cap, although she's from Hisui, not Sinnoh, potentially. Anyway, Hisuian Braviary, psychic flying type. Hisuian Zoroark, normal ghost type. The only Pokemon to have that type combination. Well, the only evolutionary line, Sora and Zoroark from Hisui. Then, okay, back to Sinnoh itself, because again, this is alphabetical order, that's why Barry comes after Akari. We'll take a look at Ray later. He gets his signature Pokemon, Infernape, Fire Fighting, Staraptor, Normal Flying, Floatzel, Pure Water, Heracross, Bog Fighting type, Roserade, Grass Poison, and Snorlax, Pure Normal. That Snorlax probably came from a Munchlax. Cynthia, the mighty legendary Cynthia. Her signature Mega Garchomp, Dragon Ground, Spiritomb, Dark Ghost, Togekiss, Fairy Flying, Milotic, Pure Water, Roserade, again, Grass Poison, and Lucario, Fighting Steel. Next is Dawn. Her signature Empoleon, Water Steel type. Then Lopunny, just regular Lopunny here, so it's pure normal. Togekiss, Fairy Flying. Frostlass, Ice Ghost. Cherim, pure grass, and Rapidash, also pure, but in this case, fire. Haha. So now here's Lucas, his signature Torterra, grass ground. Licky, pure normal. This is, what Rotom was this? Wash Rotom? Yeah, it's Wash Rotom, electric water. Then Rampardos, pure rock. Dosnoa, pure ghost. Flareon, pure fire. Ah, lots of pure types here. That's good, that's good. And then his equivalent from Hisui, you might say, Ray. Hisuian Decidueye, grass fighting. Basculegion, water. Hisuian Arcanine, fire rock. Overquill, poison dark. Mr. Mime, psychic fairy. And Staraptor, normal flying. And that is everyone. Let's get back to the portal now. That is, hold on, let me also remove this from here, because otherwise I think I'll forget for the next stream if we use that screen. Well, Maniacs, Superstar, Supernovas, that right there is the ultimate version of the Pokemon League. You know, I'm starting to realize I may have to, I should probably upload these cards to like a Google Drive or something so that everybody can see them. Have them displayed somewhere. That would probably be a good idea. I think I'll do that. I'll probably do some Google Drives or something like that, and from there you'll be able to just see them at your own leisure without having to watch a video, right? But otherwise, it's all right here in the video. Eventually, if I do make these parties on Showdown, I may also just share the formulas, the recipes, whatever you call them, so you can copy and paste them on Showdown or just see what they're like. I probably won't because, well, I may still do that, but even if I do, there may be variation from the ones you're seeing here because of the limitations of Showdown. Especially Hisuian Pokemon. I don't think they're really viable, or rather available to have in Pokemon Showdown. Like, it sort of gives you the option, but they're considered illegal for every mode. Like, maybe only Anything Goes allows them. So yeah, we'd have to modify some parties or just have them in Anything Goes, or like whatever game mode allows them, you know? Because it has to be National Dex Anything Goes, which doesn't exist. So it has to be the Anything Goes of a particular generation. And even though it says Anything Goes, it still has limitations from the generation. There's no National Dex Anything Goes, which is a shame. They should have that. They should have that. But at least National Dex Ubers or OU may work out. The problem is that, well, sometimes there's limitations with that, potentially. Like if I want to have the same species but in different regional variants, it's not going to allow that in OU or Ubers or whatever. And again, those Hisuian Pokemon are illegal. Illegal in the sense that they're not available. But yeah. So with that, I hope you enjoyed that display of the ultimate version of the Sinnoh Pokemon League. We definitely have done it on less time today. Yeah, hitting about a 2-hour mark is ideal for these sorts of streams. And I'm gonna try to do that with the Unova decks, which we're gonna do next week. That is the next order of business for... Yeah, I think it's gonna be next week. It's a special week, like it's the holidays and such, but December 22, I mean, is not like a special holiday like for the December holidays. Yeah, like in terms of that, I don't think it needs to be that. I'm already planning a special Starlight Celebration Final Fantasy stream with Alurin for Saturday. We're pretty much finalized the details. He has confirmed. So that's why I'm mentioning it. Otherwise, I wouldn't say it if it's not confirmed. I would just say there's maybe something in the works or something like that. But yeah, Final Fantasy Friday on the 23rd is probably going to be normal though. Like I'll do missions and such, and the Starlight Festival we'll do with Alurin on Saturday. And maybe some other things. But I think it's mostly going to be Final Fantasy XIV for this year. It's my first year in Final Fantasy XIV, so it's my first Starlight Celebration. And that's great. Starlight Celebration? You're gonna name it that? You have my attention, Final Fantasy XIV, even more than you already have. Oh yes, Square Enix keeps killing it for me. Oh man. Yoshi P, arigato, Yoshi P sensei, Yoshi P sama. Yeah, and I'm saying sensei like in the sense of like artist. Sometimes mangaka, anime artists, or even like doctors get called sensei. So it's in that sense, you know? It's in a very super respectful sense like that. But not like I'm saying he's my teacher or something like that. Not like that, really. There's also the word shisho for that. Like, you're the disciple, you're the apprentice of someone. Shisho! Shisho, watashi no shisho desu. Right? But yeah. Yeah, my shisho would probably be a ghost type gym leader in Pokemon. Maybe or Elite Four member. Chantal, Morty, Agatha. Yeah, shisho, if we have like the original, your master, your teacher, your personal sensei, which is your shisho, not your sensei in this case. If we go for like the wise old person figure, Agatha may be more fitting for that. So, she's my shisho. Shisho, onegai shimasu. Please teach me. Please train me. Onegai shimasu. Yeah, hey, this is a good segue to remind you. A good seg into the reminder of what we have for this week. First, let me remove the Opera window here before I forget. And yes, the schedule for the rest of this week. Tomorrow we're back on Twitch for Final Fantasy Friday, as we usually do. We'll continue on from where we left off on Saturday on my birthday, because we did play a little bit and we completed the new headquarters for the Scions of the Seventh Dawn, or as I like to call us, the superstars of the Seventh Dimension. We'll continue on with that probably. We may do some other side thing. I like doing group content. It's always fun for me. But it's important to advance the story as well. But yes, speaking of Japanese words, back on YouTube on 12 p.m. Eastern Time, so different starting time than the other streams on this week, is Japanese learning again. So we'll continue probably with Renshu. Probably still with Renshu, but there's a nice incentive for me to continue doing some things in Duolingo. Or maybe I'll finally show gameplay of the RPG Maker Japanese games I was looking to get into. I don't know, honestly. I probably will figure something out until before Saturday or on the day itself. Or we could make a vote of which you'd like to see. 4 different votes: Lingo Deer, Duolingo, Renshu, or the RPG Maker game. Yeah, that sounds like a great choice. I should make a poll on Twitter for that. But for now, though, that's the schedule for this week, alright? Make sure you tune in and watch. You're compelled. Just look into my eyes. You are compelled to watch the rest of the streams this week. This is the perfect song for this. Perfect music. You are compelled now. Whether you can watch or not, though, your support is appreciated if you are supporting me in any way. Because there are other ways to support me, right? If you've been watching the VODs, you know, it's been a week or so since the latest cover, Justifies. Thank you for listening if you listened. I hope it was to your liking. I did my best effort possible to mix the song and to create the video. But I still consider myself an absolute amateur at doing those things. Well, the sound mixing. Video editing, when it comes to like a lyrical sort of video, a more visual video for a song, yeah, I'm more of an amateur for that. But for other types of videos, it's a little bit easier because of the expectations for it, or at least that's the way I see it. But alright, maniacs, that's going to be the end of the stream right here. Thank you so much for coming, for those who did. I wish you a great rest of your Thursday or Friday, whatever day it may be for you. Whatever way I see you next, maniacs. Otsukai-sama desu. I just realized that's still the Twitch screen. It still says subscriber, follower right there, but that's okay, whatever. I really need to transition the YouTube screens more, it's still pending. But anyway, Otsukai-sama.